So I think we're up to the third chapter of Yechezkel. We mentioned last time that he had to eat that the scroll of woe. So we're going to start on pasuk Dalet. So this is Parak Gimel pasuk Dalet in Yechezkel. Vayomer Elai ben Adam, lech bo el Beis Yisrael. So now that he's consumed the scroll, he's got to go on his mission to the people. So the disembodied voice says to him, Ben Adam lech bo el Beis Yisrael, go to the house of Yisrael, v'dibarta b'dvarai alehem, and say what I'm telling you to say to them. And now we get a reiteration of what we had in the last chapter. We just want you to know the people you're going to are they're hard to deal with. Ki lo el am imke sofa v'kivdei lashon atashaluach. You're not going to a people of unintelligible speech and difficult language. El Beis Yisrael, you're going to the Jews. Lo el amim rabim imke sofa v'kivdei lashon, not to the many people who are unintelligible and difficult to communicate with. Asher lo sishma divreihem. Those people would not understand what you're saying. Im lo alehem shalachticha hema yishmo elecha. If I sent you to those people who didn't even speak the same language as you and could not understand, you guys couldn't even converse, they would at least listen and hear you and respond. I'm sending you to people who speak your language, who understand exactly what you're saying, and who will not listen to what you're trying to tell them. Ubeis Yisrael lo yavo lishma elecha, right? The house of Yisrael will refuse to listen to you. Ki enam oivim lishma elai, because they don't listen to me, says God. So good luck to you, Yechezkel. I've been trying for a long time. Ki kol beis Yisrael chizkei metzach ukshei leiv hema, because the whole house of Yisrael are brazen of forehead and stubborn of heart. Hine nasati es panecha chazakim leumas pnehem. I'm going to make your face as hard as theirs. V'es mitzcha chazak leumas mitzcham, and you're going to have as hard a forehead as they have. Kishamir chazak mitzor, like what do they translate shamir? Metal, yeah, they have adamant here, like adamantium. Some sort of metal. That we have the story in the Gemara about the shamir, the worm that eats through everything. It's also a city in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisrael, right? It's in Yoshua, I think. Right? Yeah, 1548. There's a town called Shamir. Anyway, ki Shamir chazak mitzor nasati mitzecha lo sira osam. Don't be afraid of them. Lo sechas mipnehem. Don't be like worn out because of them. Ki beis merihema. Remember, these people are rebellious. Now, I'll just tell you my own confusion. Who's Yechezkel going to prophesy to? Is it the people who are in Bavel or the people who are in Eretz Yisrael? So there are still Jews in Eretz Yisrael. We're going to find out that they're all very bad people who are doing very bad things in the Beis HaMikdash. Is he going to prophesy to them? It doesn't seem so, because he's in Babylonia. So he's probably going to prophesy to the people who got saved from Eretz Yisrael, right? They were the ones who were exiled, but not killed. So when we're talking about how terrible these people are, I mean, I guess they're terrible enough that they had to go into exile, but they're
still not going to listen.
Right. Vayomer Elai.
We're tough people.
Yeah, that's the message. We are tough people. Vayomer Elai ben Adam. As kol devarai asher daber alecha kach bilvavcha ubaznecha shma. Take it to heart and hear what I'm trying to tell you. V'lech bo el hagola el bnei amecha. Go to the exiles, to the people of your own nation. V'dibarta aleim, and speak to them. V'amarta aleim, and say to them, Ko amar Adonai Elohim im yishma'u v'im yechtalu. Listen, this is what God has to say, and whether they listen or not, you got to tell them. But tisi'ene ruach. Okay, so this is a very famous pasuk. And this is the source for it. We'll talk a little bit about the people who want to try to change the wording over here. But ruach, and I was lifted up by the wind. V'eshma charai kol rash gadol, and I heard behind me this incredible sound. And what was the sound? Baruch kevod Adonai mimkamo. That's the quote. Blessed is Hashem from His place. Now, I can't say that I really have any opinion on what they try to do with the gears over here, but Shadal and others will tell you that this doesn't read properly. That you can't just get Baruch out of thin air. They want to change the word Baruch to Barum. The reason they do that, I don't know if I have it here. Barom means like when it was lifted up, meaning what's going on over here is what he's seeing is the chariot, right? Remember the Merkava has these angels, and when their wings move, you get all this sound that he's hearing. The sentence, I guess, reads better if you would then change Baruch to Barum. Then I heard this great sound. When did I hear that great sound? Barum kavod Hashem mimkomo. When the chariot lifts up and starts to move away from its place, that's when the wings of the chayot or the kruvim or whatever they are, when those wings start moving, that's when I hear this very powerful sound.
Incidentally,
yeah.
Am I the only one here who thought that the word rash, which translated as noise or sound, is onomatopoeia?
Oh, that's interesting.
I wondered if the sound that he actually heard sounds like rash.
Right.
Like I'm just wondering, like Azbekal Rash Gadol. Like
right.
that's the sound.
Yeah.
It was just a thought I had. I don't know if it's true or not.
I like that.
You don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
The in the Paleo Hebrew script, so the more ancient script that we have, the Chaf Sofit and the Mem Sofit are actually very, very similar. I don't know if I have an example for you. I might in. No, I don't know if I have it on this version. No, I'll have to get an example for you so you can see it. But it's very easy to mistake the Chaf Sofit and the Mem Sofit in the Paleo Hebrew script. They're very close to each other. But again, I can't. This pasuk is in like all of our davening, and I think you need overwhelming evidence to try to change the spelling over here, and can't just.
So who are the ones that do? You said more than one?
The academics will tell you, starting with maybe even before Shadal, but
who is Shadal again?
Shlomo David Lotzato.
This is
1800s.
This is the Ramchal's son?
No, I want to say it's uncle. No, Ramchal is older.
He's 18.
Yeah, I don't know what the relationship is, but they're
related.
Yeah, I believe they are. But they're
people have them. Are the ones that from the 19th century.
I wonder if the Luzzato family is still in Italy.
He's Orthodox.
Yeah, Shadal's Orthodox. Yeah.
And he was really thinking of changing.
He believed that there was it wasn't. Let me put it a better way. He believed that a mistake crept into the text, and that he was correcting it back to the way it probably was originally. That was his argument. V'kol kanfei achayos mashikos isha el achosa. So the sound of the wings are touching, they're beating against one another.
What's the word? Nashikos?
Mashikos.
Not nashikos. Not kissing each other.
V'kol ha'ofanim lumasam, and the sound of those. Remember, those are the wheels. V'kol rash gadol, and all of this makes a whole big tumult. V'ruach Nashasani v'tikacheni, and now the wind is picking me up and lifting me off. V'kach mar b'chamas ruchi, and I went in bitterness, in the fury of my spirit. V'yad Adonai elai chazaka, and the hand of God is strong upon me. V'yavo el hagolah tel aviv, and I come to those exiles. Remember, he was by the Nahar Kvar. When we started this whole story in the first few psukim in Parak Aleph, he was by the river, and now he comes to Tel Aviv. Originally it's translated in Akkadian as the mound of the flood. We in modern Hebrew we've sort of updated it, but this is where the Tel Aviv of today comes from.
Tel Aviv is spring.
Right.
What do you say, mud?
Of the flood in Akkadian. Abiv is
Abiv. Okay.
Yeah. Hayoshvim el Nahar Kvar. Right, that's where he started out. Ve'ashev Hema Yoshvim Shama. Yoshvim Sham, excuse me. Ve'ashev Sham Shivas Yomim Mashmim Besocham. So he comes to the community over there in Tel Aviv, and I remained where the people were for 7 days, and he sat there basically in stunned silence. He couldn't speak. It was after those 7 days, and there's a psucha in the middle of the pasuk to show you, like, he's had this is the first time that he's now going to interact with people after he had this unbelievable experience. And God has to sort of speak to him again and tell him, like, remember, you're here to deliver a message. I understand you're completely overwhelmed by what just happened. Ben Adam Tzofim Nesaticha LeBeis Yisrael. I appointed you as someone to look out over the Jewish people. V'shamata mipi davar, and you heard from me, from my mouth, the words that you have to say. V'yizharta osam mimeni, you have to warn them for me because I've tried and they didn't listen. Right? That's what we said before. Barmi l'rasha mos tamus. If someone is wicked, tell them they're going to die because of that wickedness. V'lo hizharto, v'lo dibarta lahazhir rasha midarko harasha lachioso. Hu rasha bavono yamus v'domo miyancha vakesh. So this is essentially making the Navi and really the leaders of the people responsible for the people. If the Rasha doesn't have a warning and he continues in his wickedness and he ends up dying in his wickedness, it's not just the Rasha's fault. It's the fault of anybody who was in a position of leadership and could have made that Rasha do something different. You don't do something, so then I'm going to take it out not only on the Rasha, says Hashem, but the damo miyadcha evakesh. I'm going to seek their blood from the person who could have done something to stop this. He's harta Rasha veloshav. But what happens if you warn the Rasha and he still doesn't do tshuva merisho? Umidarkar Rasha hu bavano yamus. Then the Rasha will of course die. But now you have saved your own life. So remember, this is the message that Yechezkel is conveying to the people. Is he has to start with the leaders and tell them, you guys are responsible. It's one thing to say to everybody, God is angry at your behavior, you're a bunch of sinners. Okay, so then everyone is in the same boat. But the leaders have an exceptional level of responsibility to go not just change their own ways, but to make sure that it impacts other people. And now if you warn someone who's righteous not to sin, and he doesn't sin, he will for sure live, because he's been careful, and you have saved your own life. But, and this is sort of the whole thing is phrased as a chiasm, go down to the valley. I'm going to speak with you even more over there, says God to Yechezkel. And I go down to the valley, and the kavod of Hashem, whatever that is present over there. The same experience, the same vision that I had by the river with the Merkava, the Epola Panaim. Again, Yechezkel falls on and says, "V'tavo bi ruach tamdeni al raglayin." Again, the spirit comes, the wind comes and picks Yechezkel up on his feet. V'daberosi vayomer elai bo hisager betoch beisecha. And now we're going to get the second of our, we called them last time, I think, symbolic acts. So Yechezkel is told to go and shut himself up in his house. V'yata ben adam, hine nasnu alecha avotim. I'm going to place upon you bonds, ropes. Vasarucha behem, and you're going to be bound up. You're going to be tied up with these ropes. V'lo tetzei b'socham, and you can't go out among the people. You're not only a shut-in in your home, but it's going to be physically impossible for you to go out and do anything because you're all tied up. Ulashoncha dabik, and I'm going to cause your tongue to cleave to the palate, right? El chikeich. You're not going to be able to speak. V'ne'alant v'loti lehem leish mochiach. You're going to be mute. You're not going to be able to give them the rebuke that you just conveyed to them was so important, right? God just said, rebuke the people. If you're a leader, you have to rebuke the people. Otherwise, you're responsible for the fact that they're sinning. You're not going to be able to do that. You're going to be a Navi who's not allowed to Navi. Ki base Meriham, because the people are so rebellious. And then, when I finally do speak to you, then I will open your mouth. You will say to them, Koma Adonai Elohim, so says God. Hashomer Yishma, Vechadal Yechdal, Ki base Merihema. Those who listen, listen, and those who don't, they are a rebellious people, and that is the end of our chapter. Let's try to add a few little points over here. So he's silent basically for 7 days. Before, remember, when he leaves Nahar Kfar and comes to the people, he says he doesn't have the capability to speak. I don't think that qualifies as the same thing as Yonah, where he refuses to deliver his prophecy. That's called kovesh es nuvuaso. I think here it was not it wasn't his intention not to transmit the nevuah. It was a physical impossibility for him. He was so blown away by the Merkava experience that he just sat there dumbfounded. I think the interpretation we offered last time about why he has to eat the scroll, I think applies over here as well. He's going to the house. He has to be shut in his house. He can't speak. He's tied up with ropes for whatever reason. All of that is to make Yechezkel the symbol, right? He's not just conveying a message. He himself is the message. His experiences are part of the message that he's giving over to the people, and it's important for the people to be aware of that. They're not just they don't have to just hear what he says. They have to see what he's experienced, and he's conveying the prophecy differently because of these signs, these acts that he has to do to himself. Okay, I think we can leave it at that. We'll pick up, please God, next week with chapter 4.